Fools like them, they search me out and then they go. Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are stopping by for the first time, welcome. I am Kemisola. In today's video, we'll be making off of my gorgeous model, the light. So first off, I started off by cleaning her face with a micellar water, and I will be going in with the Badescu spray to further hydrate our skin. Now I am using the Embryolisse moisturizer. Guys, please forgive me. I am using the Embryolisse moisturizer to moisturize our face. Please don't mind how fast forwarded this video is. You really need to take your time. Make sure the first product is well seated on the skin before going in with the other product. So I use the Omaricode face primer to prime our face. Now I am using the classic mattifying primer on our T-zone, basically on our T-zone. The foundation we'll be using is the Nars in Merak. I don't know, but it's going to be in our description box down below. Nars V Beauty and L'Oreal foundation to get a perfect shade. So now I am basically just using my beauty sponge to press and push the product, the foundation, well into our skin before proceeding into my contour. For my contour, I'll be using the Lady V foundation in the shade chocolate for our contour. You see, in makeup, you really need to take your time to blend. The key in makeup is blend. You don't have to rush. If you want a flawless finished look, you really need to take your time to blend as in blend. So for our blush, I used the pink and red shade from my imagic lip palette for our blush. For my highlight, I'll be using my Kelvin concealer in the shade XS11 to highlight the forehead, under the eyes, the nose bridge, and our jaw. Basically, what works for me with highlight is a little product, and I start with blending the outer part before going into the inner part of the highlights. I tend to just blend out the outer part. Don't mind how fast forwarded this video is. I started with blending the outer part into a contour and blush before going into the inner part of the eyes. So watch me blend. For setting powder, I'll be using the Merak setting powder in the shade ginger to set all the areas where I have highlighted. And for this process, you don't need a lot of product. A little product does the job. This is setting the face and not baking, so you don't need to pack a lot of powder under the eyes. All you just need to do is apply and blend.
Strawberry on my lips and sugar fingertips. I can feel the beat running through the speakers. Blue skies, blue waves every day.
Now I'll be setting the rest of our face with my MAC powder in the shade medium golden and my V Beauty powder in the shade sweet honey all over our face, including places where I have previously contoured.
The summer days, ooh, got me.
For contour, I'll be using this milani powder in the shade dark to contour our face. For blush, I'll be using the yellow and orange shade in this eyeshadow palette. Yes, you had me, eyeshadow palette. You don't have to break the bank to get a flawless look. You just have to make do with whatever it is that you have. So I use the yellow and orange shade in the palette to warm up our face. Now I am using the same milani powder in the shade dark for our nose contour.
On and on, crack open models on and on and on and on and caught up.
To bake, we'll be using this setting powder from Merak in the shade curry to bake, and this is also going to help catch fallout from our eyeshadow.
Ooh, got me feeling dizzy from the summer haze. 'Cause we got the sunshine by the poolside. Such a fun time living for the hot life. Bring the right vibes and the tan lines. Keep the free mind, yeah. 'Cause we got the sunshine by the poolside. Such a fun time living for the hot life. Bring the right vibes and the tan lines. Keep the free mind, yeah. 'Cause we got the sunshine by the poolside. Such a fun time living for the hot life. Bring the right vibes and the tan lines. Keep the free mind, yeah. Hey, 'cause we got the sunshine by the poolside.
For brows, I started with using my spoolie to take off the product on our brow hair before going into my hair wax, and that hair wax is from Dramatic by Dabel. So this is just going to help set the brow hair in place, and this wax is very good for brows because it doesn't produce oil at the end of the day. Now I am basically just using my brow gel to outline our brows, and basically I'll just create some hairline strokes in between, and that is it. So I'm just going to allow you watch and learn from this process. To clean up my brows, I'll be using the concealer I previously used for a highlight to clean up my brows, and that is my Kelvin in the shade XS11 for our brows. Please, you really need to take your time while doing this. You don't have to be in a rush. At the end of the day, this is your brows, it is your job, it is your work. Yes. So for our top brows, I am using a foundation shade for the top brows. Please don't make the mistake of using the concealer you used for our top brows. You can use a shade darker than our skin tone for the top brows, or the same shade of foundation you used for the top brows. Now I blended my concealer into our skin, and I am blending the top brows with a powder shade.
Estimate the impact of the fourth while breaking down upon my feet. The offering.
For eyeshadow, I started off by using this dark shade of powder, the same powder I used for nose contour, to just blend the crease with the brow before going in with my eyeshadow primer. This step is self-explanatory. Please watch and learn.
You let me build up my feelings. You shatter them quickly, I let you. It's easier than fighting, but I know I give you everything I.
So after blending out my eyeshadow primer, I went into my Morphe eyeshadow palette in the shade 3502, and I started off by using the brown shades in my eyeshadow palette, in my Morphe eyeshadow palette.
You're so inside the agony. Stop for a second, breathe.
Now for a lid, I'll be going into my Zickel eyeshadow palette, the same palette I used for a blush, and I'll be taking this red shade from the palette on my outer lid.
You're good for me, 'cause every time you hurt me, I go na-na, oh na-na.
For the outer part of our lid, I'll be using the dark shade from my Morphe eyeshadow palette, the 3502 eyeshadow palette, and I'll be dabbing that into the outer lid. Now I am blending my eyeshadow into the upper crease. You don't want to leave your eyeshadow like that. You want to blend them into each other. In makeup generally, the key is blending. How you are able to blend your makeup is how flawless it's going to look at the end of the day. So you really need to take your time to blend. You can see how I am taking my time to blend and switching into brushes. So please take your time to blend. This process, you don't have to rush. Take your time, and even if you are rushing, even if you have limited time, you really need to blend.
I've been trying to reach you, baby. I lose my mind. You've been kind of see-through lately, but you're good for me. 'Cause every time you hurt me, I go na-na, oh na-na. Tell me to leave you, I say na-na, no, not now. I've been trying to reach you, baby, to understand it better, baby, tonight. Take it all the time, I need to wrap my head around you. 'Cause God knows I want ya. You're taking everything for me, you don't even know. You're so inside the agony. Stop for a second, breathe. I'll turn it all around if I could, but I know it's not enough.
At this point, I think I was satisfied with my blending, so I went into the under eyes, and I am using the same shade of eyeshadow I used for the lid for the under eyes too. I started with using the red shade for the outer part of the under eyes and the brown shade for the inner part of the under eyes. So now I am using my Merak black pencil for a task line, just to
Baby, to understand it better, baby, tonight.
After that, I went into my NYX jumbo pencil and applied that on a waterline. but I did that off camera, and I also applied my lash off camera. And the lash I used was wing lashes. I can't remember what style it is, but it was wing lashes. Now I am basically just dusting off the fallout from my eyeshadow and pressing my setting powder into her face. You know, now I am stressing the pressing. I pressed the leftover setting powder into her face. I did not dust it off. I only just dust off the, sorry about my English. What I meant to say is I did not dust off the setting powder. I only dust off the fallout from the eyeshadow, and then I pushed the rest of the setting powder into her face. Now I am setting my makeup with my Kiss Beauty. That was the first setting spray I used before using my Omaricode setting spray, the mist Omaricode setting spray. Now I am using my 2-in-1 Zaron mascara for our under eyes. This step, you don't want to skip it. There's a beauty it adds to the eyes on its own. For my highlight, I'll be using my highlighter from the Tehila palette for this step. For her lip, I used the burgundy shade from Avour to outline her lips, and then I went into the Becharm nude shade to blend out the burgundy shade. I was not really satisfied with the result I got from the tube lippies I used, so I went into my imagic lip palette and I took this white shade from the lip palette and I added it to the top of the lip, and you will see me going back again into the lip palette to add some more shades of white to it, and it took my lip from 20 to 100. But please, you have to blend. You can see me taking my time to blend the lips into each other. For the finished look, I added gloss to the lip and that was it. It was bomb. And yeah, we have come to the end of today's tutorial. This is the final look for this makeup tutorial. I hope you were able to learn 1 or 2 things from today's tutorial. If you do, please subscribe, like, comment and share, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.